dreadful.
That was terribly 70s, wasn't it?
No, you're very cool. But yes, you're all very good. Well done. So, hello. Right, look, my name is Kirty Styles, and I am here to talk to you about why I like to ride my bicycle. Make a big loud noise if you're a cyclist. Woo! Make a big loud noise if you ride a bicycle, if you can ride a bicycle. Make it louder! Fucking cyclists. Here's a sexual preference. My bike is just here. In case you were worried, I only took up comedy so that I didn't get my bike nicked. Now, I know that your first question is, well, Kirsty, obviously you say that you are a cyclist, so why is it that we can't see the outline of your penis? Well, folks, actually, I come from a long line of militant women riders. We're not cyclists, but cyclettes. Bikes for women! So where are all the bike babes? Well, the enthusiasts amongst you will know that the current model, our friend, the safety bicycle, was debuted in the 1890s, replacing the previously popular mechanical death horse. But can you believe, almost immediately, men were like, well, we have to stop them. Yeah? That's how you know something is good. You know, voting. Well, that turned out well. Being financially independent, hooray! Working in late-stage capitalism, thank you, kind sirs. Getting a pint, even, yes, in the 1980s in this country, it was legal to refuse to serve a woman in a British pub, and I would have lost my fucking shit. Anyway, they actually told women that cycling would make you infertile. They said it would make your face stick like that, and that I believe, by that I believe they meant the face of pure joy. They tried to make them doing it wearing long skirts, and they even said that it would make women more promiscuous. And in fact, sociologists now credit cycling with reducing the amount of birth defects in the US and the UK populations at the turn of the 20th century. It might have been men, but yes, queens! But mainly it meant that women could get away. Somebody stop them. In the 1890s, American social reformer Susan B. Anthony said the bicycle, she called the bicycle the freedom machine. She said that it had done more to emancipate women than anything else in the world. Marguerite Merrington, an academic and playwright, said, now and again, a complaint arises of the narrowness of the women's sphere. For such a disorder of the soul, the sufferer can do no better than to flatten her sphere to a circle, mount it, and take it to the road. Right on. The connection to the theme. Of circles, of course. People even started setting up cycling clubs at this time, so that they could go out on a ride together, and they even started spreading the good word of socialism. You can, to this day, visit the last remaining one of these clubhouses, the Clarion House, if anybody's been there, right here in the county of Lancashire. I shan't get into my issues with the 1972 Local Government Act boundary changes on this occasion. So, freedom, friends, and it turns out fucking, sounds fucking incredible to me. But as it happens, less than a third of cyclists in the UK and the US today are women. Almost exactly the same as more than 100 years ago, despite the fact that we can all participate much more fully in our miserable capitalism and vote for whoever we want, as long as it's a posh, mediocre white man. Cheer up, love, at least you can get yourself a pint. In an attempt to block it all out. So, we can only surmise that one of the reasons that people think cycling is awful is because statistically you are much more likely to see a middle-aged man in lycra on the road today. I'd say probably another quite large contributing factor is that there are lots of massive metal death machines fucking everywhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because surface transport is, in fact, the largest single contributor to the UK's greenhouse gas emissions. About a quarter, as it happens. And OMG, it turns out the cars are bloody worse by quite a long way. And not just that, there are fucking tons more traffic on the roads today and vehicles being less polluting overall. One of the reasons that our emissions have only dropped a little since the 1990s is because of SUVs, massive moped vehicles. Every time an SUV speeds past me after waiting politely up my arse while I navigate around roadworks being done to repair roads torn up by SUVs, I imagine that they've just had an epiphany and are speeding straight to the local Citizens Advice Bureau to declare that they've just woken from the spell of hyperconsumption, ignorant of science, devoid of humanity, and lazy as fucking hell. And they'd like help getting out of their insane car finance contracts. Or they're just going to Mackey's. So yes, the SUV community is quite large. Now, despite being a middle-aged man, not me, sorry, or actually because of it, I have to thank my dad, Les Styles, for me being here this evening. I actually found out recently he was supposed to have a vasectomy about 33 years ago. Not sure how long he thought he would get away with that. He's a true comedian. And it was also my dad, Les, who taught me to ride a bike, possibly really in the hope that I would go away. Maybe actually because he really is a feminist. So in honour of my dad and the caregivers everywhere who've faced the tears and the arguments, I don't know if that was just us, here's the dad jokes section of the set. Perfect segue, I think we can all agree. So, there are 9 million bicycles in Beijing, so said cycling statistician Katie Melliwer. Roads are for cars. Yes, that's why the Romans built them. Why are bike wheels round? Someone else will tell me this. Physics, I think. An Englishman, an Irishman and a Scottishman walked into a bar. They had just been on a bike ride and they had a really nice time. How many cyclists does it take to change a light bulb? Oh, that's kind. Someone showed me how to do it and I can do it myself. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
This isn't an instructive show, I thought. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Oh, sorry, I was just locking my bike up. Why did the cyclists cross the road? Because they were taking a strong and safe position to turn right. And that is perfectly legitimate in the new highway code. What do you do if you see a spaceman? The real answer is, or the fake answer is, parking it man. Do you remember this joke? Parking it man! No! If you see a spaceman, you should look over to the left and you see a cyclist coming up alongside you. Give them a nice wave, because they're doing good. Also leave a 1.5 metre distance, just in case they fall off their bike, and if they do, you don't crash into them and smash their brain into the road. How do you know a cyclist has been in your fridge? It's very well packed. How else do you know a cyclist has been in your fridge? Tyre marks in the butter! Whoa! I know, it could have been a unicyclist. And of course today we must call butter delicious destroying the planet animal death paste. What's a cyclist's favourite cheese? Pannier. That is one for the cyclist. So a non-cyclist, a pannier is a bag that we put on the back here. I once had a boyfriend, I would say pannier, and he would say pannier, and I would say pannier, and he's dead now. What's the best thing about riding a bike? It's dead good! What's the second best thing about riding a bike? It's dead good! What's the third best thing about riding a bike, Mark? No, there isn't the third thing. Roses are red, violets are blue, bikes are the best. What's the best part of falling in love? A new bike? No, dude, that's something a middle-aged man in lycra would say. A nice bike ride together is, of course, a very sweet, and my dad would like it, socially acceptable answer. Of course, the real answer is oral sex. A direct quote from June from Horwich in 1902. What do you call an unhappy cyclist? There's no such thing as the no. Okay, that's enough of the jokes, because that is the last one. So just before I close, some propaganda. Woo! That's how it works, right? Facts, jokes, propaganda. So there are probably more than 1 billion bicycles in the world. Most of them probably rusty mountain bikes in all of your sheds. Yes? The top cycling country is Denmark. 9 in 10 people own a bike. Only 4 in 10 people own a car, and women ride as much as men. And incidentally, it's always found amongst the top 3 happiest countries in the world. They also have very low inequality, well-funded social welfare. This isn't a joke, this is just true. Cycling is healthy, it is non-polluting. In fact, this 150-year-old innovation fights climate change. It's pretty cheap, it's actually pretthis is our jokes, you're right. And the power and speed that you create is all your own. You get to see and smell and hear the world, and sometimes it hits you right in the face. It opened up the gene pool and helped people spread good ideas. In fact, it's actually a pretty big fuck you to the ills of modern life. Of course, it makes you more fun and more attractive to everyone you meet. And if a white van honks at you, it means that you're doing really well. Caring as you were. Here's to the person who I hope, if you are able, taught you the joys of the magic wheel. My dad, Les Styles. Or was that just me? And as Les would say, just keep pedaling!